Hey crafters, today I'm going to show you how to do some sponging with finger daubers, these little things right here, on glossy paper. I've done videos before on other like shimmery white or just plain cardstock, but today I'm going to do it on glossy paper. You can get glossy paper pretty much anywhere. It's just like photo paper. Okay, so we're just going to start with this, and then the colors that I'm going to use some black, Calypso Coral, Early Espresso, Daffodil Delight, Pumpkin Pie, and Crushed Curry. Okay. And I have these daubers, so I've marked them so that they go with each color. So I'll line those up so that I don't get them mixed up. So that's Early Espresso, Memento, Crushed Curry, and Calypso Coral. Okay, then I want to do a setting sun. So I'm just using a Post-it note. I'm going to punch that out, and I'm making sure to punch it out on the sticky section because it was right on the edge. It didn't cut very good, so which is fine. I'm just going to use a piece of paper or scissors to cut that. Okay, and it still has some sticky on there, which I want because I want it to be able to stay on my glossy paper. So I'll put that there for now. So I'm going to actually start with the light colors first, and I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do this, so you are going to be able to go along with me as I do this. I'm just going, because I think these colors will all go nicely together, but we'll soon find out. All I'm going to do is just pretty much ink up most of this in yellow, and this is the Daffodil Delight that I'm using. Because this is glossy paper too, you can end up transferring your fingerprints into the ink because it takes like just a few seconds for the ink to dry on the glossy. So I try to get into the habit of keeping the fingers on the Post-it notes as much as I can to keep my fingers off. Okay, and I can come back and forth with my colors as well. So now I'm going to start with the, or next will be the Pumpkin Pie. And I'm going to come up to the top, and I'm going to work my way down into the yellow. Just kind of creating and you know, the colors of course don't have to be like perfectly solid all the way across. You'll see some light. I'm going to come back in with the Daffodil Delight again, and I'm going to go over that Pumpkin Pie just to rub it in a little bit to make it blend so that you don't have any natural lines. And again, like I say, I'm going to keep coming back to this. And I think then the next one I'm going to do is I'm going to try the Calypso Coral near the bottom. And again, keep my finger on that Post-it note. It's not going to move because of the sticky. I'm just going to build up some color down here as well. I picture things in my head, and then I try to transfer those thoughts onto paper. It doesn't always work. But that's the nice thing about when you're doing this, especially with the glossy paper, you can keep going over it till you get what you want. Like I'm looking at this now and I'm thinking that I want some more of the yellow coming out around the moon. So I'm just going to go back over it. Do it again. Just keep adding some more color, building the color. But I will come back again after I do some more touch up. So I'm going to use, I think, the Early Espresso for the bottom. And just fill up some dark down here. Oops. Just keep blending it in. I'm just going around in circles. So I do think it, I wasn't sure if I was going to use the black or not, but I am going to use it now. The Memento black is a little bit different. You'll notice when I do it here, it's going to, see how it's pushing up the color, and that's absolutely fine. I'm just going to kind of like tap the ink on, give it a chance to dry just a little bit. And I'll rub it. I'll come back to it and I'll add some more to build up the darkness. And then by rubbing it, you get rid of those lines. Now I'm just going to go back in with the brown and bring up just a little bit more high. Just bring it up a little bit higher. Oops. And then I'll just blend it all in together. Just like that. Actually, I think I'm just going to come up so it's not flat. Just come up a little bit on the sides. So it's kind of coming together. I'm not sure if you can see it. It really is using your imagination and not looking at it just like this. You have to look at what you picture to be the end result. So I still want to add some more color. Like I feel like I need the pumpkin pie and the clips, or what was it? The pumpkin pie. And I think, well, I'll try some crushed curry. I think that they might be too close to the same color. Yeah, they kind of are. But you see, just as you go over it, how it's blending it in to the colors below. But yeah, the crushed curry kind of is very similar to the pumpkin pie. Well, it's blending in. They're not the same colors, but they're blending in together. So I'm just going to come over, add a little bit more pumpkin pie. And I think I'm going to add some clips of coral in there and just come down a little bit lower. I'm kind of just trying to round it out just a little bit. And then the Daffodil Delight, I want to really just want to intensify it more in the middle here around the sun. Like that. And then you can see here the lines like around here. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to use the brush and I'm just going to just keep going over those lines and they will go away. Just like so. But I think I'm still going to try to blend that down. So I'll go back to the, oops, to the pumpkin pie. You can use whatever colors you want. Like you can do blue skies, you can add some red, you can, you know, like honestly, there are so many variations and color combinations that would just be so pretty. Okay, now, so I think, don't really quite like how that's, I'll just blend that a little bit more. Now, bringing my, back to my yellow because I'm not really liking the definition there of the line, so I'm just gonna use my lighter color, which is the Daffodil Delight, and blend that in. Okay, now I'm ready to lift off my sun. I could have left, when I did the whole thing in yellow at the very beginning, I could have done everything in yellow and then put the post-it note on. There's no right or wrong way to do that, but I'm just going to kind of build up that a little bit. I'm going right over top of the edge to just blend that in. Now I think also, as I'm looking at this, that I think I'm going to kind of just taper off the brown a little bit. So I will use my early espresso, just come to the bottom, just put a little bit of a shadow on there, like so. And I think I might just leave it like that. I'll just try a little bit of the yellow just so that it's not, again, straight line. And I think I'm kind of happy with that. You can play with it. You can add as much as you want. If you want to go in with other colors, by all means, go in with whatever colors you want, build it up and just play with it. I mean, it's the best way to find out what you like. So what I'm going to do now is I'm using, I cut this here out at 5 1/4 by 4, but I'm going to trim it down by 1/4 inch on both sides. So I'll do that right now. There, so now it's just a little bit so that I've got, I'm going to put my pumpkin pie, and then I've got an 8.5 by 5.5 black for my card base. So I'm just going to adhere. You can use tape runner or glue. I'm going to use glue because I'm almost out of my tape. So I'll just glue on the back of there. Line that up on the front. Okay, and then I will put use the glue there as well. I want to make sure I kind of get to the edges, because it is glossy photo paper, it will tend to curl a little bit, so I'm going to make sure I get it on the edges and then line that up. Oh, I didn't really want to do that yet. Just thought of something. I cut out, because I didn't know if it would be dark enough down here, so I cut out this here. This is from the Grove dies. So I've got like the Grassy Grove has got this outline right here, and then you can get a die. There's a die in the corresponding die set. So I just used that to cut out that, but I wanted to put it on the bottom, and I was going to, but it's already glued down, so I'm not going to ruin it. But I'm going to trim this so that it's a lot shorter. Give me 1 second. I'm not sure if it's too high yet. So I can go like that, or maybe like that. Actually, I think I like that better. So I think it just gives it just a little bit more dimension. So I will glue that down. And that's just using black cardstock. Line that up to the edge. Like that. And then I cut out in advance, whoops, some balloon dies. So Stampin' Up! Has the hot air balloon set, and then again they have the coordinating dies. So you can do whatever kind, you can mix and match up how you want to make your balloons. But I think all I did was I cut out, using black cardstock, one of the smaller balloons, and then the basket as well. Okay, so I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the bottom. Basket. I'm going to put that aside for a minute and just let that dry just for a second. Line it up so it's straight. Okay, just put that aside for a minute. So for the greeting, I'm going to try something. Instead of just using white cardstock, I want to have it with a little bit of shine still. So I'm going to try this to see how it works. So I'm going to just use a scrap piece of the glossy paper, and then I'm going to use, I think I'll just try Calypso Coral and sponge that on there. I could use Calypso Coral cardstock or pumpkin pie cardstock, but it's just like it has that shine to it, and that's the kind of what I want to stay with for the theme of this card. I don't know if I use the darkest color, so I don't think it's going to make a difference if I blend in another color here or not. A little bit, but not much. So it's not solid. You can see that there's a little bit of difference to it. So then I'm going to use my Stamparatus. And then I'm going to put that down here. You don't have to use a Stamparatus. I'm going to do it mostly because I'm videoing this and I don't want to smudge it, which I know I probably would. Because with glossy, it will smudge, so you want to make sure that your inks dry a little bit. So if I put this there, and then I'm just going to use my, better fix that so that doesn't happen. Still there. See all my broken magnets? Still works though. I don't want it to lift up. Okay, all right, so now I'll just add some black ink. If you're using a block, you're going to make sure you want to press straight down and lift straight up, because if you use your block and you kind of, you know how you go like that, you will definitely smudge it. So you don't want to take the chance of moving the block. Okay, so then like that. Now it does take, like I said, a minute for it to dry. So you're just going to want to wait for it to dry just like a minute before you cut it out. Okay, so I've cut that out. You just have to wait for about a minute for it to dry. Okay, and then what I also did is I cut out, I already told you, so I cut out the balloon. So I'm just going to put that, position that somewhere on the card. Not sure where I want it. Yeah, I think I'll put it there. I'm not sure where to put it. I should put that around the edge to make sure it sticks down. I'm just trying to make it look like a silhouette. Could pop this up, but I'm not going to. I'm going to just leave it flat on the card as well. You could stamp directly on your background too. That's not sticking. Helps to glue, add glue to every part. to hold it down for a second. There. I kept trying to decide if I liked the black silhouette or not, so I thought what I did was I stamped the balloon outline on another piece of glossy cardstock, and I'm just going to fussy cut. That's what it's like after I added the stripe. So 2 different looks, and you know, not everybody likes the same thing, so yeah, I don't know. And then this one I didn't put a shadow along the bottom, and then I also added just a marker, and I added some little birds. So you can make the cards your own, and I just wanted to give you other ideas of how you could spice it up a little bit.